Here we have the current stock market analysis for Super Microcomputer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the 15-minute price chart. Again, I was kind of hoping at this point to be able to move out to some longer term time frames with this stock because it is going to be important. We have a very significant price movement and trend wave pattern that has started to unfold here. But now that we're starting to see some declines with the share price itself, it's becoming more difficult to just simply dismiss the shorter term time frames because we do at this point need to be looking at whether or not this stock is really building a bullish base for a positive reversal. So now that we have seen some downside price movements to start the trading week, as we can see here, it's a little bit difficult to just sort of move on to the next time frame here. What we have started to see already is a share price gap to the downside. This price gap really started right around 455.80 and then moved all the way down to roughly 447.20. But as we can see here, this price gap has now already been filled. So that is a positive because that should start to limit the volatility that's being seen for this one because we have now filled this price gap. So that's not really an issue that we would need to worry about at this point. But one factor that does need to be considered is this break below this prior support zone. This is important for a few different reasons. We did see, a spike movement into this direction, but we really didn't see a closing basis here on the 15-minute basis, and we certainly didn't see it on the hourly time frame, which would be more important. But we did see a spike through this prior support zone coming in right around September 13 trading session. Here we can see that share prices did manage to develop support there around 438.80, and share prices have now broken below there, which also means that we broke below the 200 period EMA and the 100 period EMA. In addition to the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement of the ascending move from 382.88 to 469.46. So we do have some negative aspects here that are currently being seen in this chart. One positive that you can point to would be the fact that share prices didn't close below that support zone on an hourly basis. We didn't even close below it really on a 15-minute basis. We came right into contact with this area, but we did start to see a bounce at that point. So this would suggest that this support zone did actually hold. For the most part, what we're seeing here is some downside trading activity to start the week. Nvidia is also lower. These stocks tend to follow each other fairly closely. There is a strong correlation between those two stocks. It's not 100% obviously, but days that are negative for Nvidia also tend to be negative for Supermicro. So not totally surprising to see that this downward price movement is occurring because we did have a bearish price pattern that was developing for Nvidia into the end of last week. That price pattern is starting to play out to the downside. I don't really think that the typical projections for that price pattern however, are going to be as stark as they would normally be or would normally be expected to be. In many cases, those price patterns do play out as expected with the conventional wisdom. But that's a fairly drastic and dramatic price projection into $70 per share for Nvidia. And I don't really expect share prices to move that far, but it is a bearish pattern, and this did signal some selling weakness here into the beginning of the week, and that is starting to play out. So these are still useful patterns, but we don't always go by the textbook projections. So as things currently stand here, what we would really need to see would be an hourly close below this 438.80 area. In order to sort of revive that bearish outlook. At that point, you would definitely be looking at further declines, in my view, because you would then be trading below the exponential moving average cluster, firmly below then the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement of this price move here. And you would also be trading below historical support zones. So that would give us three different signals at once, which would suggest that, a downside break is likely to gain in momentum. But we really didn't see that here. We came close, but that didn't really happen. We didn't get a close below 438.80, and then share prices really did manage to bounce from there. So, as long as we can sort of stay above that level, I would still maintain the bullish outlook here at this point. So the next level to the top side obviously comes in at this 469.46 area. We have a spike high from there coming in at 475.42 that we've been watching a bit here. That would be the August 29 high. And then if you were if you were able to break above there convincingly, then you would be starting to look at this prior price gap, which would need to be filled. This is the price gap. This is sort of the post Hindenburg report, that short seller report. This was the price gap that was created during that period of time. So we could start to see some renewed upside momentum if we were to see a break, or, roughly into the 480s. We do have some ways to go from here because we did see this downward price movement to start the week. But overall, this is a fairly volatile stock, and $30 in share price change is really not so much for Supermicro. So it's definitely feasible that we would see something like that this week if we were able to maintain support at 438 and then continue to move higher. Into these 480s. If we do see this price gap filled, that would be a fairly significant price potential movement here to the top side, because you could be looking at share prices moving back to 550 at that point. This is a very substantial price gap, so presumably there are still going to be orders in that area that will need to be filled. And then that does give the stock some new upside momentum that could be used to generate some bullish activity for shareholders. So this is the 15-minute time frame, so we need to relook at the indicator reading here. We do have this spike below this positive uptrend in momentum that did occur today, but given the way share prices bounced off of that 38.2% Fibonacci retracement, what you could be looking at here could be a false breakout here to the downside in the momentum reading. So this will be important to watch here going forward. This could be evidence of a longer term break here, of a final break of that 438 area. But as I said, we're not quite there yet. And if we are able to start to see trending movements higher here, I would then consider this to just be a false break that was probably based on sell-offs that were present in the broader market. So here's the current stock market update for Supermicro Computer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.